Hello, girls. Today we will start with a new lesson from the poetry section, Chapter 1 The Kingfisher by W.H. Davis. Now, W.H. Davis was a Welsh poet and he is considered a nature poet, and this is because of his interest in the objects of nature. Now, a poet is considered a nature poet when he focuses his form of writing primarily on themes, ideas, emotions, situations, or images that have to do with nature or the wilderness. Now, here in this poem, we understand from the title itself that the poet has used an object of nature as the theme of the poem. So let's start with the poem right away. The Kingfisher by W.H. Davis. The first stanza. It was the rainbow gave thee birth and left thee all her lovely hues, and as her mother's name was tears, so runs it in thy blood to choose, for haunts the lonely pools and keep in company with trees that weep. In the first stanza, the poet describes the bird. He says that the bird is so colorful, it's got so many colorful marks on its body. He says that he's very sure that it was the rainbow that has given birth to the bird. So he says that the mother of the bird is rainbow. And so, left thee all her lovely hues. Here he means to say that the bird has inherited from its mother rainbow, it has inherited all the lovely colors. Hues means colors. And here the words thee means you. Then next line, and as her mother's name was tears, so runs it in thy blood to choose. Now we know very well that a rainbow is usually formed after or during rainfall. It is the sunlight that strikes the droplets of rain and splits into these seven colors, forming a rainbow. So here he says that these droplets of rain or droplets of water, they symbolize tears. So in other words, he says that it is the tears who is the mother of rainbow, and the rainbow is the mother of the bird. So here tears is usually associated with sadness. So the poet says here that the bird has inherited sadness from the grandmother. So the bird, according to the poet, has inherited colorful hues from its mother rainbow, and it has inherited sadness from its mother tears. And why does he says this? Because the next two lines says that the bird haunts lonely pools and keep in company with trees that weep. Now this is one characteristic of the kingfisher. The kingfisher is usually a solitary bird. It likes to be alone. It does not like to keep company with other birds. It hunts alone and lives alone. And it usually lives and thrives on willow trees. Trees that weep are willow trees. Now, why are these willow trees called trees that weep? Why does the poet says that the willow trees are trees that weep? The reason for this is because the willow trees branches, they don't branch out but they stoop down, making the tree look like as if it is sad. So here the poet says that this bird is sad and it likes to keep company only with trees that weep. That's the first stanza, that's the explanation of the first stanza. Now we go to the second stanza. He says, go you, and with such glorious hues, live with proud peacocks in green parks. On lawns as smooth as shining glass, let every feather show its mark. Go, get thee unbow and clap thy wings before the windows of proud kings. In the second stanza, we find that it's like as if the poet is giving an advice to the bird. He says that you have such glorious colors on your body. You should go and live with proud peacocks in green parks. You should not hide your beauty by living in these areas which are far away from other inhabitants. He says you should go and show off your beauty. Be like the proud peacock. Then he says, go live on lawns as smooth as shining glass. Let every feather show its mark. He says, go and show everyone your beauty. Then get thee on bough and clap thy wings before the windows of proud kings. He says, go and clap your wings, flap your wings, and show to the world the beauty of each and every mark on each and every feather of your body. He says, go, Go and stand before the windows of proud kings and show to those proud kings that they are not the only ones who have reasons to be proud. Even you can be proud because of all the beautiful marks on your body. So we're done with the first stanza and the second stanza. Again, first stanza, the poet describes the bird. Second stanza, the poet seems to be giving an advice to the bird. But finally, in the third stanza, the poet changes his mind. He says, "Nay, lovely bird, thou art not vain." He says, "No, lovely bird, you are not proud. Thou hast no proud, ambitious mind. I also love a quiet place that's green and far from all mankind, a lonely pool, and let a tree sigh with its bosom over me." In the last stanza, it's very clear that the poet now he compares himself, his characteristic to the characteristic of the bird, his personality to the personality of the bird kingfisher. He says, "No, you are not proud. You are not like the proud peacock. You don't have any proud, ambitious mind." He says, "You know what? It's not just you who love a quiet place." He says, "Even I also, I love a quiet place just like you." He says, "That's green." Means in the lap of nature, far away from the din of the city, far away from all people. He says, "Sometimes even I like to be alone." He says, "Sometimes even I value this quiet and silent time." So he says, "It's not just you who likes to be alone." He says, "Even I want to do the same. Just like you keep company with the willow trees, even I want to sit next to a tree and sigh with its bosom over me." He says, "Even I want to keep company with the willow tree because it's not just you, it's even me." So here we have the poem, The Kingfisher. It's very simple. Go back to the first stanza. The poet describes the bird. Second stanza, the poet seems to be advising the bird. And finally, on the third stanza, the poet compares himself to the bird. And we're done with this poem. I will send further instructions later. Thank you.